That's right, folks. We are back in the building. JV Wins Dogon SS here to kick it with you once again for a traditional, wonderful, invigorating, life altering stream of the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. My name is JV Wins. That, of course, is Dogon SS. Much appreciation to everybody out there for tuning in. Before we get things kicked off, I want to say that we are now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts for anybody who wants to check out the audio version. If you're not in position to check out the video on YouTube, we are now available in podcast form. So just trying to be any and everywhere possible for people to be able to engage with the content. Much appreciation to everybody, of course, who has been following along with us, hitting that subscribe button, liking the video if you appreciate the commentary in the video, or if you don't, and leaving that content to get to sort of hit us with that engagement. We certainly appreciate it. And to anybody else who might be checking out any of our content for the first time, this is what we like to do over here on this side. So hit that subscribe button so that you can get the notification whenever we drop new content to the channel. We certainly appreciate it. And if you are so inclined, always feel free to hit that like button and leave a comment to let us know what you think about any of the subjects that we produce here on the channel. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get rocking and rolling here, man. We are going to kick things off with with some controversy surrounding Kanye West and his wife, whose name is Bianca Censori or Censori. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but they set the internet on fire recently. Well, recently it was during the Grammy Awards because they showed up at the red carpet and turned a lot of heads because essentially Kanye's wife, although she had something, on, I know you can barely tell, but she is wearing something over all of her assets. But the point, obviously, is that you can nevertheless see all of her assets, and it got a lot of people talking. A lot of people feel as though it was inappropriate. A lot of people are talking, saying it was not cool for her to be dressed that way with so many impressionable people watching the Grammys. And it was even a flex in typical Kanye fashion because they didn't even attend the awards ceremony. They left right after the red carpet. So it seems like they literally showed up to do this and pull this stunt and then leave. Kanye is starting to be talked about a little more as of late because he is preparing his next solo album, which I believe is called Bully. A little bit more. We'll get into that a little bit more on our next topic. But to provide a little bit of background context, this says Kanye West's wife Bianca Censori sparks outrage with not safe for work Grammys look. Although Kanye West and his wife Bianca Censori have worn some ensembles that have raised eyebrows in the past, their latest shocking fashion choice has left the internet utterly puzzled. On Sunday, the couple hit the red carpet before the 67th annual Grammy Awards at Crypto.com Arena in LA to show off their outfits, which at first glance appeared more mellow than what social media users are used to witnessing from the duo, but things quickly ramped up. In clips shared on X, formerly Twitter, West 47 donned a simple black t-shirt, matching pants, and black sunglasses with Censori 30 initially supported a long black fur coat, which she promptly removed to reveal a sheer dress that left little to the imagination. The not safe for work skin-tight dress, which left her nipples uncovered, gave the illusion that Censori was in fact nude. Soon after causing a stir on the red carpet, West and Censori left the venue. Though reports circulating online sparked rumors that the two had been kicked out after arriving uninvited, Variety reported that a source close to the Grammys denied those claims, calling them not true. West walked the red carpet, got in his car, and left. The source added. Social media users on X didn't hold back their thoughts on Censori's racy attire. So here are some of those reactions. There's literally children at the Grammys. Someone tell Kanye West and Bianca to get the F out of here. Me coming on the TL, I don't know what that stands for. You know what that is?
Timeline.
Oh, Oh, there we go. Okay. Me coming on the timeline to find Bianca Censori naked at the Grammys. So, meme stuff, gift stuff. Me, when I see what Bianca Censori was wearing to the Grammys, uh, leave it to Kanye West's girlfriend to be the first to be censored. So I'll show a bigger version of that so that we can get a clearer picture of what's going on here.
Unbelievable.
Kanye West and Bianca Censori should be on a sex offenders registry. It's gotten officially out of hand. I was gonna quote tweet Bianca Censori's outfit, but I don't want that stuff on my page. What the actual F? Surely that's public indecency and warrants arrest. West, who has changed his name to Ye, earned a nomination at this year's ceremony for Best Rap Song for his 2024 tune Carnival. The 76-time Grammy nominated artist has scored 24 trophies in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, and then I'm just going to share a larger version of this. Obviously, we don't need to stay on it for too long, but just to give you a better idea of what we're looking at here. So there you go. There, because of the sensitive nature of the outfit, of course, there are censor bars to cover her private areas. But you can imagine if you were there in person, you, of course, would have seen her entire body. Many people on the internet didn't appreciate this. And, people saying that it's indecent and whatnot. And like I said before, like the article put out there, it kind of seems like this is the reason why they even came to this thing, because they left after the red carpet. They didn't stick around for the actual event. So, what are your 2 cents on what she has going on here, what they got going on here, and how people reacted to it?
I mean, honestly, I really don't know what's going on with Kanye anymore. He'll have these flashes of having some sort of, um, you know, uh, awareness, like he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's talking about, and then he's having a lot of faux pas moments where he's just doing this off the wall things, super cringe things. And since he started dealing with this sensory girl, Censori, since he started dealing with this girl, it's been complete sideshow action with Kanye. Every time he's out and about with this woman, there's something weird going on. And so Kanye is somebody that I always felt like, you know what I'm saying? He got a little industry. He had the industry stuff going on. He was knee deep in it, but he was somebody that fought against it, rebelled against it, and was trying to reclaim his life, reclaim things, give a message to the people. But then after he goes through all of that stuff, jump through all of those hoops, you know, excuse me, he'll come around and do things like this still. Um, for somebody that wants to bang against the system as much as Kanye professes that he does, you can't then turn around and then do this, in my opinion. This to me is exactly what the system wants. This is system behavior. So how can you be a rebel against the system, but you're doing things that the system don't even do itself? This is the first time we've seen this. We've seen scantily clad at the Grammys or other award ceremonies. We've seen Sukihana bend it over on the red carpet at the BET Awards. Okay, we saw Sierra wear damn near nothing. We covered that here. Go do some deep diving. You guys will see our conversation on what Sierra wore with Russell Wilson. But this here, I mean, this takes the cake. I mean, what a joke. I mean, literally, whatever she's wearing is so. This is beyond sheer. It's like whatever the sheer material is made out of is literally see through itself. So, yeah, man, this is taking it to a whole nother level of indecency. So for Kanye, for somebody that was supposed to be somebody that is supposed to be the voice for the voiceless, somebody that's supposed to be anti-system, somebody that's supposed to be fighting for the everyday person. This is the stuff that contaminates the everyday person. This is the thing that damages social, I don't know, the damaging the social pool It's like urinating in the social pool. Like there's nothing good that comes out of this outside of me scathing him for it. So honestly, I don't get down with this. This is pretty weird to me. He's been weird, to be fair, for the last, I don't know, year and a half or so. Um, People say that's an understatement, but I mean he's really gotten off the grid within the last couple years. I don't know what's going on. This is very odd behavior, and the way that this woman conducts herself. I don't know if she, well, clearly she's not all there, and not her clothes or her mind. And every time I see her, she's in this robot phase, almost in a delta state of just walking around in zombie mode. Very, very weird stuff. So I don't get down with it. I think this is bizarre behavior from Kanye. Not surprised he pulled up and then pulled out. Yeah, he did it for the show, which is weird and all in its own. And by the way, would you want to sit in the seat after this lady? I know I wouldn't. So, what are your thoughts, man, on Kanye bringing his bucket naked, uh, you know, girlfriend or whatever the hell she is to the Grammys? What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, Kanye is not, well, Kanye is clearly not college dropout Kanye anymore.
No, no way.
Yeah, Kanye is not putting the backpack on anymore. Kanye has become this new avant-garde, push the envelope, uh, provocateur. I think he,
Provocateur.
yeah, I think he fancies himself that. And, and you're right, man. When you say, his mantra, the thing that he stood on the most was always um, speaking out against, standing up for those who are being victimized by the status quo.
Mhm.
That was what endeared him to so many fans of his in the early on. But he is actually acquiescing to status quo social engineering, in my opinion, at this point, and it's unfortunate. I believe that the current status quo of Western ideology is to appeal to people's baseline sexual energy, to basically leave them in a trance-like state where you can convince them to do where you can convince people to do whatever you want them to do, buy whatever you want them to buy, spend money on whatever you want them to spend, consume whatever you want them to consume, so long as you are giving them sex. It's what the internet is doing constantly. It's what social media is doing. The proliferation of, well, rather, the aggressive mainstreaming of sex work, the accessibility of it, the availability of it, how mainstream people on OnlyFans are becoming. We're trying to turn adult film actresses into just regular everyday workers and people with a platform to express their opinions on various subject matter. We're like, there's an aggressive mainstreaming of sexual promiscuity and sex working. I talked about this last week when we discussed Brittany Renner, and her transition to becoming a Muslim. And I believe that to be the status quo. Sequester everybody into a sandbox in which they will do whatever you want them to do so long as you can give them sex. And because I believe that to be the status quo, I now believe Kanye to be an agent of the status quo, which is the utter antithesis of what he used to be, which is an agent of fighting against the status quo. Because it's the aggressive mainstreaming of it is the thing that I'm most uncomfortable with. Because again, you can holler about what she is wearing being indecent or inappropriate, and individuals such as Kanye will say, why is it indecent?
Yeah.
Why
I
is it
that.
yeah, exactly. But that's the kind of inception that these agents are trying to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's gray out all traditional aspects of things like decency. We want to muddy it up. Let's muddy up the waters, make it blurry, so that we can create a world in which anything goes, and we don't have any standards for decorum. So if you approach an individual who is a proponent of dressing like this in public, and you were to say to them, hey, listen, I think that what you're wearing there is a bit indecent, it's a little inappropriate, they will probably retort to you by asking you and challenging you on the norms of what constitutes inappropriateness and indecency.
Mhm.
so as to suggest there actually is no such thing as inappropriate or indecent. We simply all just are.
Yeah.
And that's what things like this to me symbolize. We are aggressively trying to deconstruct all manners of everything that we traditionally held to. If at one point being naked in public was inappropriate, we are now having to undergo this existential examination of questioning whether we ever had it wrong in the first place, and whether we should have always believed that being naked in public is okay. Because why not? We should be able to just be out in public naked. And where there's an aspect of narcissism that creeps in here, because you're doing this for yourself and your own righteous cause,
Mhm.
but you're not thinking about the negative psychological ramifications that doing such a thing can have on an impressionable mind. So there's a rule, right? What's the age old adage in sports? You never what how does the saying go? You never Shannon Sharp says it a lot. You don't coach what you wouldn't allow, or something of that nature, right?
Mm.
It's something like that. I got to look it up. Basically saying, if you wouldn't allow it for yourself, you shouldn't coach it or practice it or preach it or something to that effect.
Mhm.
And my thing is, if you wouldn't want your own daughter dressing that way, then you perhaps should also not dress that way. But a lot of these people are so out of their minds that they are probably thinking to themselves, I would probably, at this point, they're probably thinking to themselves, I would encourage my daughter to dress this way. Because we need to get out of the old way of thinking that dressing and being naked in public, no matter the venue or the context, is inappropriate. Because again, what is inappropriate? What is indecent? There actually is no such thing. There's no such thing as normal. There's no such thing as inappropriate. There's no such thing as indecent. There's no such thing as any of this stuff. It's just whatever. It just is what you want it to be,
Mhm.
what you make of it. You know, what is your gender? What is your sex? What is your what? All of these things. What is anything anymore? All of it should be questioned, even if it's something that reasonably was understood by most reasonable people. So I believe that this is 100% on par with the status quo, as
Mhm.
you put it, and it's hypocritical to the kind of person that Kanye used to be, but it is consistent with who he has become,
Mhm.
which is someone who I believe is more than willing to push the status quo envelope, not because he philosophically believes that new things make more sense, but because he, like most other people, well, not most other people, but like many other people out here, simply want to live in a world where everyone is able to do whatever they want at any given moment.
Yeah, and I can't get down with that. Uh, I can't get down with that. I don't jive with it. Kanye was somebody that I really held to an esteem that was higher than others in his realm. Right? No, nowhere in the worship realm. But when it comes to the pool of celebrities, it'll be like, okay, well, if Kanye has something to say, I would like it, from time to time. Then he'll have his tangents where he does something weird. But for the most part, I'll be, what I'm saying, rocking with his whole thing of, anti. But, this stuff lately, I don't know what kind of psychological situation he has going on, but he's completely out of his mind, if you ask me. Right now, at this point, this is what happens, dude. If when these celebrities actually believe that they are better than other people, and you know, for the spiritual side of things, where people want to claim that they're a god and all this other stuff, and um you know I'm no Christian, man, but when it comes to that philosophy, you know I don't bang against that, because, well, to me it makes sense that, if you do believe in God and you are here and you believe that you're a child of God, then if God is God, then you're a child of God, which makes you a God, lowercase g.
Right.
And so I don't have a problem with people claiming that they're that. The problem that I have with people that say that is that they feel like they're the God of me and the God of others. And he wanted to be worshipped. He went through that first phase of his thing of, and he had his followers. The people that were, he had a hardcore stan situation going on. And anything that he came out with, they would go buy it. Anything he would say or whatever, they would back it. He's pretty much kind of burnt those bridges. You don't really see the Kanye stands like you used to about 10 years ago, but he still built up this thing of I'm a god, I'm a genius, I'm a this, I'm a that. And it's like, okay, bro, but at some point it felt like he crossed the threshold of knowing that he's no different than Achilles, if you will. He's half god, half man, and everybody is, if you're down here, you're half man, whether you like it or not. And so if you are half god, half man, you can have man-like tendencies of believing too much into yourself, having a massive ego, being a narcissist. And that is the Achilles heel of somebody that has special genius type powers. So for somebody like Kanye that runs around here and has a talent, we'll talk about that in the next topic. Okay. But there's somebody that has a talent for music or what have you. He let it go to his head. And because he was good at making songs, he thought he was better than, more smarter than, or XYZer than the rest of humanity. And so when you feel like that and you have that God complex, you can parade around and bring your half naked or naked girlfriend to an award show and then drive off. like who would do something? Somebody that doesn't respect other people.
Right.
Somebody that is completely went into a narcissistic mode, and somebody that took a philosophy that's supposed to help empower themselves too far, and now he's damaging people with a mindset that's supposed to be more empowering. So I don't get down with this. I don't get down with his mentality lately. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, because you got to be out of your mind doing this. I don't know what kind of drugs she's on, because I don't know who walks around with a straight face like that all the time. I mean, every time they take a picture of her, she looks like a robot.
She might be an AI bot. Yeah, that's what I was going. I was thinking to myself, maybe she's a bot.
Well, we might have to get into this on the next topic, but yeah, bro, she literally walks around, yeah, like a Kardashian bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty a clone. It's pretty weird, man. What year are we in, bro? We here with that kind of technology? Is this something that Elon Musk made for your boy? So I don't know, dude. This is super bizarre. I don't get down with it, yay. You know what I'm saying? Get off the God complex, but it's a little too late for that. And yeah, man, lesson learned, man. For anybody out there that believes in themselves, it's not a crime to believe in yourself, but it's a crime to believe that you believe in yourself so much that you're better than everybody else. So yeah, this is all Kanye losing his mind, if you ask me.
Yeah, hearing you talk like that convinces me more and more that people in general walk around with a God complex. And Kanye West is just amongst the many of us who have now adopted our own personal God complexes.
I can see that.
And we exact our God complexes unto unsuspecting people, because we don't give, because you would have to believe you're above things to essentially walk out into the world and do whatever you want without giving any consideration to how it may affect the other person.
I can hear that.
And as human beings, as social creatures, one of the primary tenets of existing within a human civilization is, at the very least in public spaces, having respect and consideration for others, and having an understanding of the various ways in which actions that you undertake may potentially affect others. And if you have determined that those actions may adversely affect others, it might be best suited for you to not perform those actions in that particular situation. But people have been atrophied of the ability to do that. And I believe people have been atrophied of the ability to do that because all of us, due to social engineering, over the course of at least a decade at this point, have been brainwashed, bamboozled of the mind by our own private echo chambers. And when you are immersed in your own private echo chamber for long enough, you will walk about in the world believing in your own personal manifesto and believing that your own personal manifesto is so superior in terms of its logic that anyone else's beliefs, opinions, and manifestos are inconsequential. Therefore, you can walk around doing whatever you want without paying any respect or accordance to how it may affect somebody else.
Mhm.
And at that point, this isn't a Kanye thing. This is all of us because people are doing this nowadays in droves, and it is getting out of hand the way people feel as though they can walk around doing whatever the hell they want. And they are emboldened by this belief that they can do whatever they want because they're not being penalized for it. There's no consequences. Everything is a slap on the wrist. Everything is an explanation of mental health. Everything is a rationalization. Well, they were in this position to do this because of this, not because they were just being an a-hole, but
Mhm.
because they were in a circumstance that compelled them to behave this way. Because nothing can no longer be anybody's fault. We have to figure out the soft way to explain someone's toxic, narcissistic, negative behavior. And he is a byproduct of this. And when you walk around believing that you can do whatever you want, you will walk out in public dressed this way, not giving a damn about how it may affect the next person. And he's been on this. He was on this. He almost got banned from them two almost got banned from an entire country
It's sad.
because they were apparently engaging in sexual activity on a boat in broad daylight in public.
It's weird,
And
dude.
they almost got kicked and banned from a country for that. You can't you have to believe that you can do whatever you want at any given moment to do something like that. So I feel you, I didn't really put the characterization of God complex onto it because I kind of look at it as everybody does this, but so be it. Everybody must be walking around with a God complex because it's a nasty tendency that people have developed over time to basically think that they can do whatever they want. And if you call them out for it, if you try to reprimand them for it, you're boxing them in, you're hating, you're curtailing their individuality, you're trying to stymie their expression. There's always a reason for why they should be able to do something that they otherwise shouldn't be doing. Because we just don't want to live in a world rather, where rules and standards dictate behavior, in which there's order. Lack of order is actually the way people are supposed to be living. So he definitely wants to live in a world in which there's no order. That to me is very clear. Just some of the things that he's said over the past suggest that he doesn't care for order. And I don't mean order in the draconian sense. I mean order in the reasonable sense, such as don't go to a public event with literally no clothes on. If that is asking for too much, then at that point, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with this because I don't think that's asking for too much.
Yeah, I hear that, man. And I guess I say God complex in this context is because, I don't see the narcissistic woman who's mean to the waitress. Um, Even though she may come there with little to nothing on, she ain't wearing this.
yet, bro. The envelope is the envelope is getting pushed. The
Uh,
envelope is getting pushed, and I think we are inching closer to a world where, yes, the lady in the restaurant being rude to the server might be wearing this.
oh Lord, hey man, we'll see what goes on with this stuff, man. But I agree, the envelope is getting pushed. And I would say stuff like that back in 2004 or five, man. Just trying to watch regular network television, and they were just doing something year over year that they just didn't do before. And I'm like, man, y'all just keep pushing the envelope. I never thought we would get to this phase, of course. Uh, the envelope is getting pushed all over the place. So yeah, and yeah, you're right, man. Kanye is serving as an agent of the chaos that he said that he was against.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's not cool. Yeah, I don't care what he. Oh yeah, man, he got himself a woman that's so under his thumb he can just come out here and that's real player. Somebody out here that think that this is player.
For sure, absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But this is just a sign of the times, man. And yeah, they can try to deconstruct this to say, hey man, well, there's complete societies of people out there that walk around like this all the time. What's the big deal? Y'all blowing nudity out of it. I'm pretty sure there's people out here that's caping for this madness. But the thing is that we have a structure here. We have a system here, and we have norms here. And trying to deconstruct those norms to try to create some new type of norm where there's no uniform understanding about it, it can be quite chaotic. And we had ourselves a situation here, at least in Western civilization, where yeah, we're wearing clothes. So for them to be just doing these things, it's like a splash of cold water on people, and it creates a shock. And I don't care for these type of shocking things, even though they're slow dripping a lot of their dysfunctional stuff. This is to me is shocking. Sierra thing was shocking before, but this to me is it's a little too much. Yay, I can't get down with this, and you look like the clowns you were trying to criticize. So yeah, that was not cool.
It's almost like he Kanye is weird, bro. Like he wants other men to openly want to have sex with his wife. You
Which
know,
yeah, he on that.
yeah, he is. It's weird. Like, I don't get it, man. And I hear you on that. To any of the people who would suggest that being in this is no different or more or less natural than other civilizations where people walk around naked, to those people, I would say, well, go and live in those civilizations.
Exactly.
Because I guarantee you, you would not live in those civilizations because you wouldn't want to abide by the standards and the rules and the customs of those civilizations.
Exactly.
All right. So a lot of y'all think like because you want to cite what hunter-gatherer societies. Because those are the societies where people are walking around with no clothes on, being nude. Okay, well, go be a hunter-gatherer. You're gonna have to relinquish your wealth and your amenities and your resources and your money, your finance, your economics. You're gonna have to relinquish all of that and go live in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to grow your own food, catch your own food, kill your own food, and live off the land. If you're okay with that, then go do that. But over here, where there is advancement and things are first world, and there are resources and amenities, and you can live in your house off of a canyon in Los Angeles. There's things that come along with that customarily, such as you just can't go to a public event with absolutely nothing on. If you think conceding that is too unreasonable, then that speaks to the point that I'm making, which is people ultimately really just live, because that's why I agree with you when you say God complex. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just never thought of it along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it speaks to my belief that everyone walks around with that complex about themselves.
I hear that.
The sense of superiority. I can do this because I want to, and it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how it affects you.
Yeah, I mean, if you drive in traffic, you witness it every damn day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's crazy. I can't get down with this, but this is yet another example of the push for social anarchy. So you know me, I love using these as case studies to cite my belief in that. So yeah, that's what people want, man. People want that. So I can't rock with this.
Unbelievable. He really got himself a Kardashian sex bot clone. This is what is going on in the world?
I don't know.
Sheesh.
I hope you get the help you need, Kanye.
Boy. Good luck, man. Damn.